Well, well, well. It's officially been announced by the Sussex's spokesperson that Archie and Lilibet will be using the title Prince and Princess. Well, well, well. I'm going to start off by saying that any feminist out there, any young woman out there that looks up to Meghan Markle, or any woman that she pertains to be a role model for, she is an example of someone who can have their cake and eat it. So, congratulations, Meghan. Congratulations, Harry. But I think more so Meghan, because your life really was pretty relatively normal. And you have gained so much power, so much currency because of your marriage to Harry. I mean, let's be honest here. I know you want to say that you were an independent woman and you were a millionaire and you achieved this, you achieved that, blah, blah, blah. But I did not know who you were. The world did not know who you were. Okay, you didn't have paparazzi trying to film you, trying to take pictures of you. You weren't on Oprah, you weren't on Ellen, you weren't on Vanity Fair. You were, you know what I mean? People weren't interested, they didn't know who you were. Okay, now you are internationally famous, living in your £14 million mansion, which you never could have afforded if you were not a member of the royal family. Okay, you're being offered deals and attending galas and getting awards and things that no one ever would have given you if you weren't married to Harry. So I think more so, congratulations, Meghan. You've really achieved something here, because you can go around saying whatever you like. You can go around trying to create a brand for yourself, and then your actions and your demands are totally the opposite. So essentially, you can be the biggest hypocrite on earth. You can be the biggest hypocrite right in people's faces, and you can gaslight people and you can make stuff up. And there will still be quite a lot of people that will back you, that will be your mouthpiece for you, so you don't have to say a thing. There will be people that praise you. Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, she's so this. Oh, they're so charitable. I think that is incredible. Incredible. Because in my life, when I do bad things, there are consequences. But you just get richer and richer. You just get, your status just elevates. You just get more powerful. People lose their jobs. People are afraid to speak out. You just get more deals. You just get to go to more royal events that are exclusive. You just attend more exclusive private members clubs. You just get more designer gear, more diamonds. I mean, fabulous. And now you can say what you've always probably wanted to say, which is that I am the mother of princely children, of Princess Lilibet Diana and Prince Archie Harrison. Fabulous. I mean, just fabulous. You've really, really achieved something here. So well done. The other day, I saw an article here, Mail Online, that Tyler Perry flew in his alleged $125 million private jet. So right up there with Harry and Meghan's environmentalist activism. And he flew, I understand, 2 hours. I mean, really? On a private jet? Okay. And he went to visit Harry and Meghan in their $14.7 million Montecito mansion, where apparently billionaires live. He was spotted hanging out of his £200,000 Lamborghini. I mean, Harry and Meghan, just normal, just like us. You know, escape the royal family for their normal private life. So, yeah, people were like, oh, Tyler Perry's gone to see Meghan and Harry. Little did we know that there was a private christening for Lilibet. There was a private christening by a bishop of Los Angeles, apparently in their back garden, like that wedding that she had 3 days before her actual wedding in the back garden. So yeah. So now obviously it makes sense why Tyler Perry was there, because he has been chosen as the godfather of Lilibet. So this man, who is one of the most powerful men in America, who is a billionaire, and he is also probably the most powerful, if not one of the most powerful, black men in Hollywood. And he is a billionaire, as I said, and he was the one that reached out to Meghan Markle, who never even knew Meghan Markle, but there we are, his connection to the royals, and offered them his home in Beverly Hills for free, and security for free, and a private jet for free. The private jet was their freedom flight, their private jet with their dog on the floor, doing loads of things that us normal people could only dream of. But these victims, they were just, they just had a billionaire just scoop up and save them. So that billionaire was asked to be Lilibet's godfather. And you may recall from the Netflix series, he's also on the Netflix series. And you may also see from Netflix that there are a number of his movies that are on Netflix, because Tyler Perry directs, produces his own movies and stars in some of his movies. And he also has a studio. And so you'll see on some of his movies that there is Netflix in association with Tyler Perry Studios. So he took part in Harry and Meghan's Netflix series. And he said that he was asked to be a godparent for Lilibet, and he seemed that he was going to refuse that if it meant coming over to England, I suspect. But if it meant that Harry's crew were involved, meaning that if his family, the royal family, had anything to do with it, then he would not want to be her godfather. So he would be refusing the honor of being Lilibet's godfather, simply because Harry's blood family would be involved. So it turns out they weren't involved anyway. So there you are, Tyler. You're safe now. You can be the godfather of a princess of the United Kingdom, the colonizers, the racists. So it's okay. You can be the godfather because, you don't, because, you have such an issue with the royal family. And the way that Tyler Perry was scathing about the royal family, I mean, at the end of the day, this is Lilibet's family, as well as Harry's family, as well as Meghan's in-laws. I don't even know why they allowed him to go on their series and speak so scathingly. They just don't care. It's just really bizarre. They're not protective and loyal over people. Like, if my family are bad to me, I'm still going to be protective and loyal. That's my family. I'm not going to allow people to just come on international TV and berate my family. So I feel like I'm living in Alice in Wonderland. Like, I honestly feel gaslighted by these guys, because I just feel like I get a bit of a headache every time I see a headline about them pop up, because it just, every single headline, every single bit of news just doesn't make sense to me. So here we are. Meghan Markle, smiling Meghan, enjoys a brunch with friends in LA as Buckingham Palace confirms her children have become a prince and princess, and line of succession is updated. So what's happened is Lilibet was christened, and she was christened Princess Lilibet Diana. So a spokesperson for the Sussexes came out and said that she'd been christened by the Archbishop of LA. And it turns out, obviously, there isn't an archbishop, so it's actually just a bishop. So I don't know why they came out with saying it was archbishop. I don't know whether they were just trying to keep up with the Joneses, as it were. But it was a bishop in their back garden. And then they've also announced that they're going to be calling Archie Prince, or titling him with Prince. And they have said, well, this is his birthright. And then Buckingham Palace has also updated their website to include the words prince and princess for Archie and Lilibet. So that announcement was made just in time for International Women's Day. And of course, International Women's Day, we then see Meghan Markle out with her friends. She went to a restaurant called Gracias Madre. Thank you, mother. I mean, you just can't make this up. She goes to a restaurant called Thank You, Mother on the International Women's Day. And then she's seen out with her female friends, and just look how happy she is, even though she's being papped by the paparazzi. She just is always smiles, isn't she? I mean, let's just take a look at all the other times she's just smiley when it comes to the paparazzi. You know, this horrible, horrible press that hound her. So what shall I do? I'm going to leave the protection of the royal family. I'm going to leave the seclusion of Windsor, and I'm going to go all the way to Los Angeles. And then better yet, I'm going to have all these little moments when I'm being packed by the paparazzi, just so that people can see me out and about, and I'm on my date night, smiley, because the paparazzi, you know, I'm, you know, because I'm against the media and I hate the media and I hate media intrusion. So I'm going to go all the way to Hollywood, Los Angeles, and I'm going to go out and about. And then better yet, what's really coincidental or what's really interesting, they seem a bit quiet in the press, or there's been an announcement or something, and then all of a sudden, boom, you see them out on date night, or boom, you see her out and about, or boom, you see her out shopping with her friends. And it's really bizarre because it's always timed. And also it's really bizarre because she's always looking at the camera, she's always smiley, she's always so happy. And then it's also really bizarre because you never ever see them packed with their children. So is that not bizarre? Do they not go out with their kids? Is it not bizarre that you never ever see them when they're with their children? So you never see paparazzi when they're with their children. That's really bizarre. Do you think it could be possible that the paparazzi shots are set up, that someone from their PR company or who is working for them tips off the paparazzi to say, Meghan's going to be at this place at this time? Because it's interesting that they're always packed on their date nights, and they're always packed out and about. You know, they're always packed at particular times. You know, they're not just generally packed. And it's also really bizarre that, you know, she wasn't packed going into the restaurant. She's not packed in the restaurant. She's packed sort of just walking out and with her lovely friend. And it's also bizarre that her friends are always walking behind her and she's always walking first. It's really bizarre. And yeah, if you see, oh, look at her getting into her car with her chauffeur. She's always got a chauffeur. And so, yeah, if you then listen to what is said.
Hi, Meghan. Happy International Women's Day. You look great, by the way. How are you?
Thank you. You look great, by the way. Thank you. So kind. And then I don't know why her friend's walking behind.
Good to see you. You too.
Love to see you here in Los Angeles.
Love to see you here in Los Angeles. Like, doesn't she live in LA? I don't really understand. Getting into her chauffeur, blacked out windows. And who are those girls? Why are they waiting and closing the door for her? Why are they waiting for her and closing the door for her? I don't understand. Can you hear those cameras? And she's smiley. Smiley.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you.
Love to see you here in Los Angeles.
Oh, look, waiting for her. That's her friend. Oh, let me get in the car. Oh, God. Because she's like Ava Peron or something, isn't she? Look, oh, so smiley. So fine. So everything they do is planned and it's on purpose, okay? Nothing is natural and spontaneous, okay? A cheery Meghan Markle enjoyed brunch at a chic West Hollywood vegan hotspot with friends. So those friends that were like helping her into the car, her chauffeur-driven SUV, and on International Women's Day. So she just happens to be pictured by the paparazzi on International Women's Day with her female friends in Gracias Madre, thank you mother, just hours after she and Prince Harry revealed that they wanted Archie and Lilibet to be prince and princess. So they literally have just revealed on International Women's Day that Lilibet is entitled princess. Oh, women empowerment. Oh, I feel so empowered. I feel so empowered that like this woman's biggest achievement in life is marrying Harry, and that she's just so desperate to cling on to her title that was given to her through marriage, and she's so desperate for her children to be titled. Like I'm so inspired. I wish one day that I could also achieve being a princess, because that is so achievable and so attainable, and she's just such an inspiration. So the Duchess of Sussex smiled as she left Rajas Madre, a meat-free and organic Mexican restaurant that claims to be born out of love for Mother Earth and a reverence for all mothers. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Ah, so nice. And what's funny, it talks about here that apparently Buckingham Palace are making plans for Meghan and Harry to attend the coronation. So obviously the coronation is planned months and months in advance, and Meghan and Harry to attend, they've got to think about everything, right? They've got to think about security, they've got to think about where they're going to sit, the food, what they're going to attend, the events they're going to attend, what they're going to wear, so forth. Because allegedly Meghan, and I'm guessing now Princess Lilibet, is entitled to wear a tiara. Fabulous, fabulous. She wants all the benefits of being a royal, but none of the responsibility and none of the burden. Nope, nope. She doesn't seem to understand that the royal family exists because of the people. They are servants of the public. They are public servants. They have a duty to the public. This is why they have privilege. And yet she doesn't seem to understand that, And I'm really concerned that this is actually going to push a lot of outcry from Republicans, because this is taking the that you have somebody who is living in California, you have a child who is born in California, and they have British titles, and they are using those British titles. So you have Prince and Princess, and you have the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You have the Duke and Duchess of Sussex office. You have Meghan Markle, her bench by the Duchess of Sussex. You have her going to school saying, I'm a princess. You have, all these events they go to, the award ceremony, and it's always the Duchess of Sussex, the Duke of Sussex, the Duchess of Sussex, the Duke of... and they're using all these titles for all these events that they're doing in America. What are they doing for British society, apart from creating division? What are they doing for British society? He is the Earl of Dumbarton and the Duke of Sussex. What is he doing for Dumbarton, and what is he doing for Sussex? They are barely even in the UK. This princess wasn't even born in England. What is going on here? You tell me what it is that they intend to do with these titles. What is it that they intend for Archie and Lilibet to do with these titles? What is it? What work are they going to be doing to earn these titles, to earn this privilege? What work are the Duke and Sussex doing on behalf of the crown? I don't understand what is happening here. Why are they so desperate? Why are they so desperate to have their children titled in a country that doesn't have titles? And they're not intending to return to the UK. They're not intending to be working members of the royal family. So I don't understand what is happening here. It just seems so bizarre to me that they're going to be using these titles. And what is also just so cringeworthy is the fact that they still haven't confirmed whether they're going to the coronation. It's just ridiculous. Like, how dare they? Who do they think they are to just leave the king waiting? Just be like, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I bet you people that received invitations to the coronation were like, oh my God, I'm invited. Oh my God, yes, yes, yes. And these guys are just like, yeah, tell you the day before. Yeah, it's my dad. So even if I do tell them the day before, they're going to make a place for me. Otherwise, we're going to start releasing statements through our spokesperson about how victimized we are and how badly we've been treated, even though we have acted in a very poor manner. It's just ridiculous. Why are you making him wait? I don't understand. Why is this a difficult decision to make? I don't understand. And they have announced as well that they received email correspondence from the King's office with regards to the coronation, and they have not yet decided whether or not they're going to attend. Why are you releasing that? Why do you need to release that statement? You're releasing a statement that you haven't made your mind up yet. What? And you still haven't made your mind up. This is embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. They love playing this power play, don't they? They want to be the king and queen on the chessboard. Yeah, they want to create their own rival royal family in America. They want all the benefits and then nothing else. They want to feel that they're important. And this is the problem, is that Harry obviously has a sense of entitlement. He obviously has huge insecurity about his importance. I mean, you could get that from his book Spare. And then Meghan, well, Meghan's just hungry for status and power. She's in America. She wants to be one of the billionaires. She wants to be one of the power players. She wants to be the, Obama, the Clooney's. She wants to be Eva Peron with her foundation. She wants to be this powerful person without any of the work. She just wants to be given this status. And so that's why she surrounds herself with the people that she does. That's why she surrounds herself with the Tyler Perrys and the Oprah Winfreys and the Ellen DeGeneres. That's why she surrounds herself with those people. You think they were interested in her when she was the Deal or No Deal girl? Was she getting phone calls from these people when she was on Suits? No, don't think so. It's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I mean, People Magazine, don't get me started with People Magazine now. People Magazine are obviously supportive of Harry and Meghan, or there is some sort of PR thing going on. I don't know, because every time People Magazine report on Harry and Meghan, it's like singing their praises. I mean, People Magazine were the magazine who Meghan's friends had approached about the letter to Thomas Markle and leaked it. And they were also, People Magazine is also the one who Harry did an interview with after his book Spare. And now People Magazine reported on the Duchess of Sussex, International Women's Day, out and about, and Harry sent cupcakes, how romantic. And, they are celebrating International Women's Day, and People Magazine just bizarrely, if you see here, have a story from somebody who was sitting in the restaurant when Meghan was having lunch on International Women's Day. And it says that a fellow diner, so they've actually got a source, a fellow diner, tells people that Meghan sat in the middle of a table in the back of the restaurant for a late lunch. The group appeared in good spirits as they chatted and laughed. The Duchess of Sussex wore an all-black ensemble and white flats and her hair swept back in a bun and ordered a chopped salad. Really? The source gave you all that information? God. I mean, you can see what she's bloody wearing. And a chopped salad? Seriously, they were looking at what she was ordering? I mean, for God's sakes. And who is this source? Let me think. Maybe it was someone from People Magazine? She seemed really happy and laughing a lot. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you for telling the world that she's just so happy. So forget all of the criticism. They want to let the world know that she is happy, and she was laughing a lot. And then they say, I still can't believe it was her. She's even prettier in real life. Now, you know what? This, for me, seems like a setup. Second of all, if I hear another thing of somebody saying how pretty she is, oh, she's so pretty in person, like we had Fergie, we have this person, we had that girl hugging her on the walkabout and the Queen's funeral, you're so beautiful. And then everyone, all they have to say is she's beautiful, she's pretty, she's beautiful. Okay, fine. But this seems like such a setup, I just don't even know what to say. And for dessert, the group was treated to a special delivery from Harry. A dozen vegan cupcakes from Sprinkles. This is from my husband. He was asking for everyone. Meghan was overheard saying as the treats were passed around. Oh, God's sake. Seriously? Seriously. And it goes on here to say that Prince Harry was in San Francisco for an appearance for Better Up, Uplift Summit. Better Up is this sort of mental health organization that he's a CEO of or some director of, and has like over $100,000 a year or something as a salary. Oh, there we are. He's the chief impact officer. For God's sakes, what qualifications does he have for this role? I don't know. And he was there answering audience questions alongside a CEO. So apparently it was like $1,000 a ticket, and they were talking about mental health. So I'm really sorry, but first of all, what qualifications does he have to talk about mental health, other than he suffered mental health, but so we all bloody have. And after all his drug disclosures, I mean, you want to continue listening to this man? And then also $1,000 a ticket. I mean, you've heard from my other video about this online therapy session he did with this physician where people had to pay $39.99 or £14 to watch, and also had to buy his book. I mean, it was obviously just a moneymaker. But this, again, this is another mental health issue. Is mental health not his like second biggest ticket, then talking about his mother's death and the royal family? So talking about his mental health and his trauma is probably his second biggest ticket, his second biggest currency. So, you know, he's talking about how his story and telling his story is an act of service. Why are you not doing it for free? Okay, tell me that. Why are you not doing it for free? Why are you doing it for a company who you are the chief impact officer of and you get a salary of over $100,000? This is just, I don't even know what to say. Don't call it service, mate. Please don't call it service, because you're having a laugh. You're literally taking the mickey out of your grandmother who spent 70 years of service. And you're going to try and call what you're doing an act of service. Yeah, all right, bruv. And then People magazine, as you can see, lovely picture, beautiful children, I have to say, but lovely picture of them. This is Frogmore Cottage, apparently, where they live in England, or lived in England. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle with their children, Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie. So there you go, People magazine, using your titles. Oh, they're so lovely. People magazine is just so nice to you guys. Like, you should just continue only giving them stories. So okay, so let me just explain about these titles, Princess and Prince, okay? You may recall that Meghan Markle made an allegation on the Oprah interview that Archie and Lilibet were not going to be given the titles Prince and Princess, and she insinuated that it was due to their race. Well, it wasn't Lilibet because she wasn't alive then, but Archie. She insinuated that it was because of their race. She talked about the protocol and forgot what protocol it was, whether it was George V, George VI, I can't remember. Yeah. And she says that, you know, the protocol is basically that the grandchildren of the reigning monarch is given the title Princess and Prince. So she insinuated that because of race, it wasn't going to be given to Archie. And she insinuated that it was at the same time that they were talking about not giving him security and not giving him, and also the concerns and conversations about his skin color. And so she mixed all of those concerns together in one bowl and wanted everyone to do what Oprah did and go, oh, what? So it turns out that Meghan was wrong, and that actually, at that time, Archie was a great grandchild of the Queen. So he wasn't given the title. And that obviously, when King Charles becomes king, he is then the monarch, the children would automatically become Prince and Princess. And lo and behold, when Prince Charles became king, Lilibet and Archie automatically were entitled to use the titles Prince and Princess. But let's pause for a moment, because you may recall some articles that came out when Archie was born, where at that time it was said that Meghan and Harry did not want to give titles to their son. And they wanted him to live a normal life. They wanted privacy, blah, blah, blah. And then that wasn't actually much of a surprise for people, because we are actually used to this, because the Queen, so Queen Elizabeth II, when she was alive, you may or may not know she had 4 children. So Charles was the first, second is Princess Anne, the third is Andrew, and the fourth is Edward. So they are, of course, all Prince and Princess, because they are her children. They then all went on to have children. So now we're talking about the Queen's grandchildren. And so obviously you have Prince William and Harry. They are Prince and Prince. But Princess Anne, who is Charles's younger sister, she was the first to have children. And she did not give her children titles or use the titles. So her children, Peter Phillips and Zara Phillips, are just called Peter Phillips and Zara Phillips. And they were the first grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II, the children of the Queen Elizabeth II's only daughter. Because Princess Anne knew that once Charles had kids, they would be the heir to the throne, and that her children would be spares. And In fact, because Andrew is the third child and he is a male, at that time, before the Queen changed the laws or changed the protocols, at that time, the line of succession meant that after Charles and his children, it would be Andrew who would be the next in line to succession, and then Andrew's kids. So actually, Anne was further down the pecking order. So she wanted to give her children the chance to live an ordinary life, knowing that they wouldn't have such a senior role in the royal family. So she didn't use titles. So Prince Andrew did use titles. So we have Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice are his children, and he did want titles for his daughters. And there is some rumblings that Prince Andrew feels, he's like very entitled, that he was like jealous of Charles, that he's the Queen's favorite son, that he wanted his children to have big weddings, that he wanted Prince and Princess for his children because that's their birthright, blah, 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 which ironically is what allegedly Harry is doing now. But then Edward now, who's the fourth child of the Queen, he also has two children, and they are not titled Prince and Princess. So Edward had taken the title Earl, and his wife is Countess, and so they took those titles. And I should just say quickly, it's Edward's birthday, and it was actually announced, and this is actually very beautiful news. It's announced that the King is giving him the title of the Duke of Edinburgh. So he's going to be taking the title of his father, the Duke of Edinburgh, and that means that Sophie Wessex, who was the Countess of Wessex, is now also the Duchess of Edinburgh, which was the Queen's other title. Yeah, so there is precedent where you have family members who do genuinely want their children to have a chance at paving their own path, and that the royal titles would be a burden. So when Harry and Meghan initially came out and said they weren't going to give their child titles, it wasn't really that much of a shock. It was like, okay, whatever. But then when they left the royal family, and pretty much recently, there's been so much talk about titles. So particularly when the king became king, there's been so much talk about the titles and whether they will be given titles. And it's only now that there's been an announcement from the Sussexes via People magazine, of all places, that Lilibet was christened Princess, and that they will be using the title Prince and Princess for Archie and Lilibet in certain circumstances. So firstly, that announcement should have come from the palace, and so it's a bit of a shame that it's come from them, but it is what it is. I personally think they're trying to carve out their own royal family, which is really weird, their own sort of American royal family. They're trying to sort of prove, oh, look what we can do, or look, we can do it better than the royal family. We're giving you an example of how it's done kind of rubbish.
And Meghan said in the Oprah interview that Archie was not going to be given a title.
Now that is utter. He was not entitled to be prince at the time because Charles was not king, but he was entitled to carry Prince Harry's second title, which is Earl of Dumbarton. But apparently they refused that. So, oh, sorry, we don't like that. Who do they think they are? It's like, we're not happy with that. We don't want that. We want the other title. We want the higher ranking title, the prince. We don't want Earl of Dumbarton. And then they have the audacity to say that Dumbarton, who'll be teased, will be calling dumb. Like, excuse me, Dumbarton is actually a place, and there are actually people that live in Dumbarton. And how disrespectful. You shouldn't even be given that title if that's how you feel. It's just ridiculous. And then to say people are going to make fun of him. Excuse me, if he's going to be the only American boy in his class, in his country, to be a prince, then you've obviously given him something to make him stick out like a sore thumb. So I think the least of your worries is whether it's Dumbarton or Prince of the United Kingdom. I mean, can you imagine, how many people are going to be like, how many little kids are going to be like, we fought for our independence from the British royal family. We don't need you. I'm not going to call you prince. I'm not going to bow to you. It's just ridiculous. It's a country that has nothing to do with titles. It's a country that fought for their independence from the British, from rule of the royal family. It's so silly. This is an example of why I say that what they do often seems timed and nothing is ever by accident. So again, you have another paparazzi shot. Again, you have security, smiley, smiley, smiley. Although I thought cameras gave him trauma, the flash of a camera brought him back. Smiley, man holding umbrella, blacked out SUV. I mean, you're so important. But yeah, some people branded this date night a PR stunt. And so they had come out. We hadn't seen them together for a while. I think since the Netflix documentary, really, and the book Spare, we hadn't seen them out in a while. And then the news came out that they were told to evict Frogmore Cottage. And then bam, the next day we see them together on date night. And smiley, smiley, smiley. So happy, smiley, smiley, smiley. Okay. And on International Women's Day, Meghan was also seen. Lovely, smiley, smiley. She was also seen visiting an organization called Harvest Home to mark International Women's Day. So look at this lovely posed picture, just beautiful. This photographer is actually wonderful. So Harvest Home is an organization that provides housing and support to women struggling with domestic violence, substance misuse, and mental health issues. Thank you, the Duchess of Sussex, for all the work you do in America. I'm so glad that you have our titles and are doing so much work over the other side of the pond. And it's so crazy that the paparazzi know where she is. So my understanding is that how it works in Los Angeles with regards to the paparazzi is that either they are tipped off as to where you're going to be, and it's not necessarily by you, it could be by people in your office or in your PR company, so that you can get papped and then put in the covers of magazines or in magazines, so that there's continuous press on you. Or that you go to places where the paparazzi usually hang around because celebrities usually go here. And I learned that from Kim Kardashian. So, you know, she'll often go to a restaurant or go to a club that there's always paparazzi outside so that she could get photographed. You know, Kim Kardashian's honest about it and honest about her hunger for fame, you know, and that she really wanted to be famous. So she knew exactly what to do. And she was born and raised in LA, and so was Meghan. I'm sorry, is that a Chanel bag? And she is just all smiles. My daughter is Princess. Did you know that? Did you know that? Oh, thank you. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm gracing you with my presence. Oh, thank you. I've achieved so much by just the man I married. Oh, lovely. All women should look up to me. So anyway, my thoughts continue as this. I'm completely confused, because all this time we have been hearing about how Meghan doesn't care about titles, she doesn't care about hierarchy, she doesn't care about seniority. You know, I am just so confused, because I thought they both, or at least Harry, doesn't see himself and his children having any future role in the royal family. Okay, so why have you got these titles? I thought that they were escaping to find freedom from the royal family. So why do you want these titles for your children? I thought they wanted their children to grow up in a loving environment away from the royal family. And Harry wrote this book, Spare, all about being a spare and how that made him feel, and all about the institution, the royal family, the responsibilities, about his wife saving him and showing him a different world and pulling him out of his world, and how traumatized he was, and how he couldn't be his authentic true self in the royal family because you're expected to have a certain role and expected to be a certain way, and how he wants to change the royal family, and he worries about William's kids, and he worries about, you know, William's kids and those who are spares and how that impacts them. And then you demand or request or use royal titles on your kids, on your children. I don't understand any of that. I don't understand how you hate the royal family. Meghan says, or it is said on Meghan's behalf, that the royal family represent a difficult time for her. And she was in such distress over this family that she wanted to kill herself and kill her unborn child. And she and you want your children to be titled Prince and Princess. The royal family are racists. They are bigoted. They are colonizers. Okay, and they use and manipulate the press. You want your children to be Prince and Princess of the United Kingdom? You know, I thought that Meghan didn't care about titles. You know, I thought she was very humble and just one of the people. You know, I thought she didn't care about ranks and thought it was better to have links with people rather than ranks. You know, I thought Harry was concerned about this family where there's a hierarchy. She seems to be very keen to be the mother of a prince and princess, a mother of children with princely titles, and seems to be very keen for it to be known. You know, if this was a private ceremony in the back of your garden, you didn't need to release it. No one needs to know that she was even baptized, no, or christened. No one even needs to know that her name is Princess, or Archie's name is Princess. No one even has to know. You didn't have to release it. You didn't have to say it is their birthright. You didn't have to say anything. You could have just been private. But no, you wanted it out there. You wanted it in print. You wanted it in print on her christening certificate. And why are you christening her now? You know, you didn't christen her when she was born like you did Archie. So why is it being done now? You know, the timing seems to be quite interesting, as it's shortly before the coronation. You know, are we going to have prince and princess at the coronation? Is that what this is about? You know, is it about securing her line of succession, so ensuring that she's christened into the Anglican Church?
Is this about ensuring security for your family at a time when Harry is taking the government to court over security and a trial date has not yet been set?
I mean, you say it's their birthright. I mean, what is this? Is this like Donald Trump and the fight over the inheritance? That's not how it works. The royal family are there because we allow them to be. You know, you have titles and roles because of the service that you give to this country and the Commonwealth. You don't just take the titles and run off like a little fairyland. This isn't Princess Diaries. You know, there's responsibility that comes with titles. There's duty and service that come with titles. It isn't just fun. You know, there is duty and responsibilities that come with titles. You know, this isn't Snow White. You know, Harry says he grew up in a bubble. You know, he goes to LA for a new life to have his children and his wife grow up in a loving environment, which they never would have had in the royal family. And yet you want your children titled Prince and Princess. It really just seems like they're all over the place. Like one time they like this, they dislike that, they're so traumatized about this, they hate this, they're so vilified, you know, their mental health. And then it's, oh, but we want to come to the Jubilee, we want to come to the coronation, you know, we want to come to the Queen's funeral and have our Netflix crew with us on our walkabout, you know, 100 feet away. Oh, we want our titles, we want our children to be prince and princess. You know, they just have such a lack. It's almost like things change on a daily basis for them. They are such hypocrites. They're so contradictory, and I'm so confused. I feel like I'm gaslighted. I feel like I just get manipulated by all this propaganda, all this media that tries to put such a positive spin on them. And then underneath it all, it's like they're glaringly hypocrites, glaringly in your face. They're just taking money, pocketing money, and people are just not holding them accountable. You know, they have no integrity. They want these titles for power, for money, for status. You know, and you see it when you see, for example, like Harry, the Stephen Colbert interview with the crowd going, Harry, 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 and he was just like loving it. You know, he's probably so vexed because the attention is always on William. And for that moment, you know, you had this crowd chanting, Harry, Harry, and he was loving it, loving it. And Meghan's face when she sees the camera, smiling, the paparazzi smiling. You know, they've gone to have this celebrity lifestyle that she's always wanted. This is the lifestyle that she has always wanted and has never been able to achieve on her own. And Harry has given that to her. And now Harry has gone from one bubble to another bubble. Like, I don't understand what they intend to do for these titles. Like, I don't understand. Oh, it's their birthright. Okay, so what? It's there. The titles are automatically there. And it's for them to choose whether they want it. That apparently is what you're saying. You're saying, well, we want it to be up to them when they're older if they want to choose to use it or not. Well, it is. It's there for them to choose to use it or not. So why have you given it to them? And why have you put it on their christening certificate? And why have you announced it to the public?
And why would you want your children to have the choice in the future to join an institution that you ran away from in order to protect your children?
You know, you use your titles. You know, you use your titles all the time. And you have no integrity. There's no integrity here. Where is your dignity? Everything you have said about the royals, about the royal family, about the institution, about how it works, and then you yourself escape to freedom. and you still use these titles, the links, the association with the royal family, and then now you've brought your children into that. What is going on? This, if anything, has to expose them for who they truly are. Come on. Allegedly, they invited the king and the prince and princess of Wales to the christening and they didn't come. Boo-hoo. Apparently they invited them a few weeks ago when their diaries take months and months. And Harry knows that, and she knows that. So you can't just invite them weeks before and expect the King of England to turn up in the backyard in America. That's just not the case. So you probably did that on purpose, knowing that he wasn't going to come, and knowing what Tyler Perry has said, and him being the godfather of Lilibet. You know that he wasn't going to come. You know that the Princess of Wales was not going to come. So why did you need to release that? Why did that information need to come out? Why did that information need to be leaked? You know that they weren't going to come. And everything you said about them, did you really expect them to come? And you're still making the King of England wait until whether or not you're coming to the coronation. You guys are funny, mate. You guys think you're so much more important than you really are. And it is such a shame that you're creating this worldwide media storm to create a brand that you are more important than you really are, and you're not. You're trying to create this branding of Sussex, of Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and Prince and Princess of Sussex, and you're trying to create this huge brand in America. Good luck with that. Or maybe it was a strategy. Maybe it's a strategy because there's so much talk about them having their titles removed. And especially after the book Spear and how scathing that was, and especially after the Netflix documentary. So maybe they then released this statement saying that they're now going to use Prince and Princess, because if they do that, imagine if Prince Charles removes their titles. Imagine how that will come across. I just don't understand why they have now shackled their children to the royal family. Something that's all the way in the UK, that's nothing to do with their life in California and how their children are going to grow up. It's literally nothing to do with it. It's nothing to do with their children. It doesn't benefit their children in America in any way, apart from in their mind, they think it's about status. So then people are like, oh my gosh, like they all want to make connections with Meghan and Harry and their children because they're royal. Again, it's all about status. Again, it's all about power. It's all about ego. It's a sense of entitlement. The royal family, let's not get it twisted. They are supposed to be representing the best of Britishness. They're supposed to be representing this country and the Commonwealth, and they do so through service. And yet we now have a prince and princess and a duke and duchess that are all the way living in sunny California. God, I think personally that Harry and his children should be taken out of the line of succession, because what are they doing in the line of succession in the first place? Like Harry, after everything he has said, would want his children to be king and queen of England, or that he would want to be king of England. It's a massive contradiction to everything he said. He couldn't even handle being a spare. He couldn't even handle being a spare. The one that has no responsibility and all the privilege. He couldn't even handle that. I think take them out of the line of succession. They have been so scathing about the royal family. And you gave your children Prince and Princess after wanting them to have a different life than the royals, wanting them to have a private life, a normal life, as much as children of multimillionaires can have. I came across this article, which was quite telling. Apparently, Harry conveniently asked Charles to let kids use title before memoir's publication. And apparently, it was when he returned to the UK for the late Queen's funeral last year. I mean, when this man is burying his mother, he just becomes king. He mentions the titles for his children. And it was before his book release, where he totally goes after his wife, goes after Camilla, goes after Kate, goes after William, goes after Charles, goes after the royal family. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than it's really obvious. It is so obvious to me what these two are about. It is so obvious. They are about themselves. They have no integrity. They are money grabbing. The next commercial deal, the next commercial deal. They are not about charity. I mean, allegedly, Archwell had 13 million last year and only gave out 3 million. So where is the 10 million? And Archwell, as far as I'm concerned, works with people giving donations to Archwell and then them choosing what charitable organizations they're going to give or charitable causes they give the money to. Okay, so that's other people's money and yet you've only given 3 million out of 13 million. What about your money? Anyway, guys, I don't know what to say. I think that this is actually quite damaging for the royal family, I've got to be honest. You know, just the abuse of the titles, the abuse of the links and the connection with the royal family, and in no way has benefited our country and our Commonwealth, has in fact in many ways damaged our country and our Commonwealth. You've got countries wanting to leave the Commonwealth because of allegations that Harry and Meghan make about race. You want, there's been so much division among people because of race relations and the empire in our country. And I'm fed up of it. I'm fed up of how scathing they are about our royals and about our country and about our media. And then they just take all the good stuff that they can and then try and make a life over in sunny California where money talks, where they throw money at PR companies and they get their faces all over the media, all these positive bloody headlines, random people speaking about seeing them in a restaurant, how beautiful they are, what they ate, and all this rubbish. And oh, they're so kind, they're so lovely. Oh, they just laughed a lot. Oh, it was good. I'm fed up. Honestly, just fed up. So anyway, good luck to them. You know, and I do genuinely wish their children happiness, but I don't know what these two are doing. But I really think that they need to just be honest with themselves and be true to themselves. Just forget trying to leech off of things and be desperate to just make the biggest coin. Like, just calm down. You've got enough money to feed your children. You've got enough money. You've got enough money. Like, have some integrity. Do something that inspires people, that allows people to look up to you, that is not linked to a payout, that is not linked, that is not linked to money.
So guys, I'm going to leave it there. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my channel can grow and I can make more videos. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye.